So hello. This is different. Normally, I'm here introducing some incredible guest host, but today the spotlight is on moi. And it has actually been a couple of years since I've been the spotlight guest host in my own group. I mean, I do lots of other live group stuff, but just typically in this group, I'm the interviewer, not the interviewee or the guest host. So I wanted to tell you that when I was like, well, I could try and vet somebody. I've only got like a couple days, but that could be stressful on them, and I'll just do it myself. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do it on, but in just the span of the last week, I've had several other colleagues come to me with questions. Um, and I was like, I think the universe is telling me something. The questions had to do with, oh, I've got this problem, or I've got that problem, or this is why my business isn't taking off, or that's why my business isn't taking off. And so I was like, well, that's the thing I need to talk about. And for those of you who don't know me, which I think everybody in here does, but for the purposes of YouTube, since this is going to be a recording that goes up there later, hi, I'm Kryssa Marie Bowman, founder of Quantum Journeys Hypnosis and Quantum Journeys Hypnosis Academy, author. I'd like to say best-selling. It was best-selling for a little bit. I'm hoping it'll become best-selling again at some point, as soon as I promote it more. Author of Quantum Journeys, Tales of Multidimensional Healing and Discovery, which is an anthology that my students and graduates co-wrote with me. There's 18 of them, so I'm not the only author, and it's pretty cool. I'm also a practicing hypnotherapist, and I've spent the past several years just helping my clients unlock deeper levels of healing and transformation right alongside me. Like, I am just maybe a few steps ahead. I'm not miles and miles ahead, Most days I feel like I can look over my shoulder and be like, I remember exactly when I felt like that. It's not that long ago. So my work has taken me into all sorts of realms beyond traditional clinical hypnotherapy. I also do, in Quantum Journeys Hypnosis, we do past life regression, multidimensional consciousness work, intuitive development. I think what surprises most people is that one of the most common things that hypnotists come to me for isn't anything that I ever advertise. It's not a niche. It's not a thing I specialize, well, I mean, maybe I specialize in it now by default, I don't know. It's not something I intended to specialize in, but it has to do with their blocks to success in their own hypnotherapy practice. And I'm not a business coach. I will just state that right up front. I have never advertised myself as a success strategist, and my version of success looks very different from those people who do consider themselves business coaches and success strategists. I don't care if I never make it to the 2 comma club, but I would really like to have 6 chickens. So that's what we're talking, okay? For my level of success, I want to make sure that I can help people and that I can help people effectively. And the only way to do that is to get out of my own way and get myself out there. But this isn't my only goal in life, is not just to make money. It is to help people and earn enough that I can, continue to help people and live the life that I want to live, which happens to be this beautiful little life on coastal North Carolina. I'm not looking at a mega mansion, nor would I want one. So anyway, I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just saying that's not where I'm coming from. If you want that kind of a success strategist, they're all over the place. You kind of can't even throw anything into the social media noosphere without hitting one. I mean, who has their feeds filled up with that stuff? Yeah, right. I mean, they're all over the place. So what I am really, really good at, though, extraordinarily good, and I don't know if this is ADHD, maybe a hint of autism, neurospicy stuff for sure, or maybe just my IQ or how I was raised or whatever, but I'm really, really good at spotting patterns. I notice them. I can't not notice them, let's put it that way. Especially when it comes to human behavior, which is, why I do what I do. I was kind of drawn to it to try and figure out my own patterns of behavior and the patterns of behavior of those closest to me, and now I'm helping other people discover theirs as well. So because of that, and having to simply just move through some pretty difficult challenges in my life, I've also learned how to reframe narratives, my own narratives. So I'm going to help you guys do that. Over the years, I have helped countless professional hypnotists and hypnotherapists break through their own limiting beliefs. And again, this isn't a specialty, but like, I guess maybe word of mouth gets around, or I'm not really sure. But here's some of the most common ones. There's too many hypnotists in my area, so there's too much competition. There's no hypnotists in my area, so no one even knows what hypnosis is. I don't have an office or multiple degrees on the wall, so nobody is going to take me seriously. I can't accept insurance, so nobody will hire me. People don't trust online sessions. My family, friends, church, congregation, et cetera, don't believe in hypnosis. Any of these, I don't know what to charge, is the big one. Like, not knowing what to charge is the thing that actually keeps them from charging at all, which I think is interesting. Like, I'm just like, maybe just throw something out there and see what happens. And then you can be like, oh, that's not enough. Oh, that's too much. But some people are so afraid to actually throw the thing out there that they just stay here and don't put anything out there. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of a hard time here. All of these things that are blocking you from getting out there, I mean, the list goes on. And I'm going to ask you guys some of yours too, not to put you in the hot seat, but just to be like, hey, here's a potential reframe, right? Let's really do this. So I would like to dismantle these success blocking narratives and replace them with something that, will actually serve you. Because here's the nitty gritty of it. It's really not as much about you as you think it is. You got into this because you wanted to help people, remember? Yeah? Right? And if the one thing that's holding you back from helping people is you, then why'd you get into this, right? Let's get you out of that, out of being the obstacle. And this isn't to be mean, but it's your ego. It's your ego that's holding you back. It's the wounded or the fearful or the I don't know what to do or I'm too confused or people aren't going to take me seriously or, all those things. But that's preventing you from doing the mission that you set out to do, which is to help others. And here's the cool thing. Once you get out of your way and you just start helping others, or not start, but like ramp it up. Because I'm sure everybody in here has had some sessions, but you're like, I'm not putting myself out there enough. Or maybe it's not about the sessions, but you want to do something bigger, write a book, or put together a course, or who knows, do some group events, things like that. Whatever that thing is that's like the next step up that you're like, I'm afraid to do that. Once you start doing it, you heal right along with your clients. You don't have to be perfect first in order to help them, because as you help them, it helps you too. Like, there are legitimately times when I'm like, maybe I should pay them. Like, I'm getting so much out of this and yet they're paying me, But we all got to eat, so I do charge them, and I charge them well, and we'll go into some of that stuff too. So I want to go ahead and let's just get into it. Like, what are some of the biggest identified blocks? And they may or may not be true, but identified. Like, what's the narrative that you've told yourself as to, like, here's what's holding me back? I would love to hear that in the chat, and I will be kind. I promise. I'll be direct, but I'll be kind about it. I'm not going to try to embarrass anybody or anything like that, because I hate that. Nobody's typing anything. Oh, come on, don't be scared. It's just me. Like, I've had interactions with every single person in here pretty much, I think. Yes, pretty much. Okay, afraid I can't deliver what I promise. The niche thing. Nobody wants my services. Good, we're getting some good ones. All right, well, let's start breaking some of these down. So, for the I'm afraid I can't deliver what I promise, the first thing I would say is don't promise. There's no guarantees. It's a collaborative effort. you're bringing your A game, but the client has to bring theirs too. And so, and I like, honestly, I had somebody who left me a message the other day asking, not even asking, telling me, I really need hypnosis because I need to forget my ex-wife. Because he'd seen some hypnosis show and they made the person forget their middle name. And he was like, I need you to help me forget my ex-wife. I said, that's not how hypnotherapy works. And even in those like shows, it only works for a few minutes. They don't leave forgetting their middle name, it comes back. But I said, what we can do is work on the parts of you that are carrying the wound of rejection or abandonment or whatever it is that's like keeping you from being able to move on. And so the net benefit is that you're going to feel better and have more self-worth, greater self-confidence, self-esteem, etc. But you're not going to forget your wife, but the huge trigger that is your ex-wife will just become like this little almost neutralized, like, yep, there's that thing that's uncomfortable, but it's not going to stop you from moving forward in your life anymore. And he was like, oh, so how do you do that? And I said, I don't do that at all. You do that. And I just help facilitate what you need from yourself because you've actually got those tools in you. The wound lives in you, right? The wound that's holding on lives in you. So therefore, what we need to do is find the parts of you that can address that wound. So anyway, that's what I would say. If you can't promise, if you're afraid that you can't promise on what you deliver, bring your clients into the conversation. It's a collaborative effort. Do you know of any psychologist that guarantees their results? Do you know of any surgeon that guarantees their results? Do you know of anybody in the health, mental, physical, etc., emotional, that can guarantee their services? 100% of the time, across the board, for every single, no, because humans are complicated, complex creatures. So, knowing that, just don't make promises. It's a collaborative effort. Okay, next one. The niche thing. Yeah, well, apparently I have a new niche. Didn't even mean to, but here I am. So I would say just pick something that excites you and try it on, like a hat, and run with it for a while and see, do I like this? Does it fit well? Am I finding the kinds of people that I really want to work with? And if not, then start tweaking it. So like I started off with working with disordered eating patterns because I had eating disorders for a good portion of my life. So that was like, I knew it inside and out even before studying hypnosis. And so that was like a shoo-in for me, right? It's also one of the most complicated fields. I don't recommend it. It really is. You're dealing with like obsessive compulsive stuff. You're dealing with intrusive thought patterns. You're dealing with phobias. You're like, it's multi-layered. Probably not the best niche for me to start off with. It really humbled me. It really did. But if there's something that does sort of light you up, that excites you, that you yourself have been through, somebody who's maybe been through a divorce or been through a career change where they, worked in corporate and now they're doing this, or empty nesters or something like that, then you could, niche in like helping women with the natural transitions of their life as they age, for example, right? So I would just say, honestly, find something that you're somewhat familiar with that excites you, and you think about helping those people overcome the block that either you have overcome or you're almost, like you're close, like you're right there. Because again, you don't want to be so far ahead of them that you can't relate to it anymore. But if you can be a few steps ahead, then you can actually help them. Nobody wants my services. You're right, Ann, but it's just you. All those tens of thousands of other hypnotherapist services, they totally want theirs. But they look at you and they're like, that's it, that one person, nope. Okay, I'm kidding. And I'm kidding. But like, why you? Why would they not want your services, but they do want, I don't know, Richard's? Is this perhaps a logical fallacy? Yeah. Have you had some sessions? You've had some sessions, yeah? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi there. Yes,
Hi.
I've
Oh, let me
had
turn you
lots and
down a
lots of
little.
sessions.
There we go.
Oh, sorry. I've had lots of sessions. I have had over 200 clients.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I'm very experienced, but
Yes.
that's what I find so frustrating. It's like I have the conversations, people are interested, people want the service, they can understand what it could do for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then somehow or other it just disappears like sand. And I'm kind of going, what on earth? And it is almost like, see, remember in Scotland, everybody gets everything on the National Health Service free. So hypnotherapy is not approved for the National Health Service financing. So therefore, nobody is getting it paid for them, and everybody expects the treatment for free.
And
So we go
yet,
into,
what about Ali Campbell? He's from Scotland, right? He's
yes,
very popular and very successful. Yeah?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
What
yes.
about my friend Deb Scorman? I mean, she's not taking clients right now, but she was, and she's developing the whole AMP program. She's in Scotland, also successful. Although, honestly, she gives away way too many free sessions, if you ask me. And I wish she was here to defend herself, but she's not, so she's going to be used as an example instead. But you know what's interesting is you did say one thing that blew somebody else's block out of the water. You said, "Yeah, I've had all of these sessions, and they work great." So there we go. Whoever was like, "I'm afraid that they're not going to work." Well, obviously hypnosis works. Oh, the other one you said was people understand how much it can help them. That's I think what I was remembering. Right. So there goes the people who have the block of like people don't understand how much this can help them. We live in a global society, so yeah, they can get on Google or wherever and find out. But as far as that goes, you know, I feel like there could be two things going on. One, the industry itself is not like psychotherapy where you have the same clients come week after week after week after week after week, and then you fill up your calendar, and then once it's full, you just kind of like don't really have to market anymore. Our
Mm-hmm.
clients get better quickly, and so we're constantly having to market, which might inadvertently, if you're not reframing it, be telling your brain that you're still like, oh, it didn't work, I have to do it again. Oh, it didn't work, I better do this again. Just by having to go out and get more clients, there might be a part of your subconscious that is thinking that that means that you somehow failed.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something
I
to look
agree.
into. Yeah. Even though your clients are getting what they need, but the narrative in
No,
your mind is ignoring that and going into the logical fallacy side of things, right?
I totally, utterly agree with you, Kryssa, because I've had phenomenal feedback from people and
And
more
how many sessions did you say you've had? Over 200 clients, right?
over 200 clients, and each
And
client they're
then many
looking
sessions.
at least like say 7 to 10 sessions.
Okay,
So
so
you're
you
talking
just
about
blew the other logical fallacy out of your own water, which is that everybody's expecting it to be paid by the national, healthcare. Because look at all these clients that you've had that didn't. Then they got what they wanted and they
yeah,
needed. They had great sessions.
yeah, most of them are not in Scotland though. They were all over the world for other countries. I've had a lot of clients from America, especially, and from
Hmm.
Australia because they expect to pay and they're
Yeah.
happy to pay for their treatment, etc. Whereas it's more difficult here. And I must admit, I'm on a bit of a mission in my area to spread the word, to educate people, and also to help the other hypnotherapists in my area to expand their work because I'm not the only one struggling
Hmm.
here. And we've
Yep.
decided that we would actually be better working together
Yeah.
to promote hypnotherapy
Yep. So
rather
here's
than
here's
trying
something
to
I
be.
say to like clients that are like, oh, insurance doesn't cover it, so I don't think I can do it, right? Here's what I say to that. So in your case, it wouldn't be insurance; it would be the national health care system,
Yeah.
right? Um, do you remember a time when chiropractic was not covered?
Well, it's not covered here. That's
Oh,
again something we have to pay
so
for here.
in America, it wasn't covered up until like 20-ish years ago, maybe
Mm-hmm.
25,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, I'm sure you can find something else. Maybe it's not chiropractic, it could be like nutritional consultations or something, but there's something that wasn't covered at some point that is now covered. And you can just phrase
Exactly.
it like that. You can say, there are some countries around the world where insurance does cover it. You don't have to follow that up with the fact that there's a ton of hoops that you have to jump through for that to be the case, but just say, there are some countries where hypnosis or hypnotherapy is in fact covered, through the healthcare, national healthcare, or through insurance, but we're not there yet. We're kind of where chiropractic was, a few decades
Mm.
ago. And here's the thing with that, the positive reframe is that if insurance can't make money off of the back end, they don't tend to want to support a thing. Hypnosis is a very short run. They don't really make any money on the back end, right? If they know that you are going to have clients that come to them every single week for 10 years and maybe feel a little bit better sometimes, they might be more willing to cover you. So there's just another way that you can reframe it to the client is like, things, at least in America, I don't know about Scotland, but at least in America, insurance doesn't tend to cover something unless they can make more money off of it. So anything that's really short term, that's really effective, they're just not going to do.
Mm.
They would rather keep
It's not
you
even
hooked on drugs or, going to the same sessions or whatever. So go ahead, sorry.
they're definitely, see, we don't ever have to consider insurance here, so it's never ever a subject here. But what is of course that if it's not NHS approved, then is it something that's valuable? And yes, there are moves in the right direction. So, for example, at the moment, and this could be good news for some of the people out there as well, at the moment, I have a letter from a neurologist supporting hypnotherapy for
Yes.
functional neurological disorder,
Beautiful.
requesting support for hypnotherapy so that there is more evidence to show its efficacy,
Yeah.
to
And
show
there's tons of
how
that. But that's beautiful that you have that yourself. There's so many articles out there on the efficacy of hypnosis. Yes. And I would love it if you would share that article in the Hypnotherapy Uncensored group, because I've got a bunch of other ones in that group from like Stanford and Harvard and University of Berlin and some from Australia. So like, let's add that to the list.
well, the good
But
news is this is
there's
a personal
just because
letter. This
something
is
isn't
actually
covered
personal.
doesn't mean that it's not effective. Like we can
Exactly.
unequivocally say that in fact it might be the inverse, right?
Mhm.
It might in fact be the opposite.
If I
Um,
could just ask a question, I mean, how much does a hairdresser charge where you live? How much, if a person goes in to have their hair styled and colored and everything, how much are they going to pay? I mean, here they're going to pay $200 or $300. Um,
Wow.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
that's, I mean, I mean, if their people are willing to pay that much to get their hair done, and then their hair would have to be done again in a few
yeah,
months.
and again and
And
again and
this is a
again, because well, I
worldwide,
mean,
yeah,
you hope that that's the case
yeah.
anyway, right?
Yeah,
Unless you're losing it.
and Chris, I was going to say one of the things hypnosis does is it removes the pain from the memory. Doesn't remove the
Yeah.
memory, but
Yep.
so when you
That's
let them know
it can.
the
Yep.
pain is gone, that sells them.
Yeah. And I'm just really upfront and honest with my clients about it. I do not want to pull the wool over their eyes, even inadvertently, by being so confident and cocksure that I can be the one that takes the pain away, because I want my clients to be fully freaking invested.
Get here.
I don't want the
Yeah.
clients that are just like, well, prove it to me that it works. I'm like,
Mm.
nope, you know what? I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in proving to you that it works. You come to me fully ready and committed to do the work, and we will work together and you will get there. I guarantee that you will feel better. I don't know what that looks like yet because you are a complex human being, right? But yeah, let's see. I'm going to keep going with these. So people don't believe hypnosis could help them. I would just say in that case, Henny, have a list of those articles, peer-reviewed medical journal articles that you can have on a website page, just the links, and you can just direct them there if you want. You could even have an FAQ session that directly, like most asked questions, right? And then like, does hypnosis really work? And then list the links of those articles. Just get right in front of it. You know that it can help. And so as long as you know that it can help, that's going to be the biggest thing. Now, If you're not sure that it can help, that's going to be a really hard thing to try and overcome with your clients, because they're going to pick up on that. They're going to pick up on that lack of confidence, that like, I don't know if it's, like, even if you're saying all the right words, but there's a lack of coherence between what you're saying and how you're feeling about them. People aren't stupid. They're going to pick up on that. So if that's something that we need to work on, then we need to work on that, right? So if it's a matter of you not believing that hypnosis can help, that's a different situation than the potential clients not believing in it. Let's see, Olga, 2, fear of failure from being a novice. You started shortly after me, darling. Where are you? Here you are.
I did, and I didn't do
Yes.
anything with it. So we started round about the same time, didn't
Yep.
we, with RTT? And you just took it in your stride, and I just carried on with my regular 3D life.
But I was a novice at the same time as you, is what I'm saying. I mean, I was a few steps ahead only, but not by much, like maybe a year or 6 months even, so not that far. And so we all have to start off somewhere, right?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you have to learn how to doggy paddle before you can learn how to do the breaststroke. You have to learn how to ride the bike with training wheels before you can move on to no training wheels. Like, we all have to start somewhere. But you are also a super busy brand new mom, so give yourself a little bit of a break with that. And if you're doing it out of passion and curiosity, then it doesn't matter if you're new at it, because like starting off a new hobby can be frustrating because you don't know everything yet. But once you do know everything, it gets boring. So there's like this sort of sweet spot there in the middle where you can be like genuinely curious and excited and passionate. Like, I would say that elementary school teachers are a great example of this. Like, the first year they might be kind of terrified. The second year they're enjoying it. And then by like the 20th year, they're like not very nice anymore to kids, and they're just so lacking in patience. But there's that sweet spot, and you're in it. You're not a newbie anymore. Now you can really just go have fun. And if you look at it that way, I think that can really help, instead of like, oh, I don't know enough yet, or I haven't done enough. Well, you're gonna do it. And you're going to do it because you're curious and you're excited. It's too expensive for many. People don't trust hypnosis. So, I mean, I know there's no way to make this anonymous, but if you want to put what you charge per session, and tell me how many, is that an hour? Is that an hour and a half? Is that 2 hours? Let's just get some ideas. I have 2 rates. So for colleagues, I do $222 for a 90-minute session. And I'll put that in here for colleagues. And then I used to charge twice that for non-colleagues, but I've actually brought it down a little bit because of just the state of our economy. So now I charge $379 for non-colleagues. There we go. Anybody else brave enough to let us peek under the hood of your offers and see what you got going on? I'm not gonna berate anybody or anything, because we're all in different parts of the world. Like, what works for you might be specific to your region, especially if you're doing mostly local sessions. 150 per 90 minutes, Lou, okay. When I first started, I was charging 120 for a 2-hour session, and I first started, it was RTT, so like 2 hours is, I mean, honestly, it could go longer. And what happened was, I started actually picking up a little bit of traction and getting some like good reviews, and I was on Google and stuff, and I had a local hypnotherapist reach out to me and ask me if I could please raise my rates because I was making him look bad. And I hadn't even thought of that. I was like, I wasn't even trying to be in competition. I was suffering from the Olga thing of like, I'm such a newbie. I don't think I can't charge more, can I? Like, I don't think I can, because I'm so new at this. And he came out of the gate and he was like, you got to charge more. Like, everybody's going to be pissed off at you. Like, all of your colleagues locally are going to hold it against you if you don't charge around the same rate as what we are. Like, we don't mind if it's a little bit less, but like, keep it around the same rate. Because 120 for a 2-hour session, that's $60 an hour. That's not enough, unless maybe you're in, I don't know, just a really economically depressed area and you're only doing local sessions. But all of us are global because guess what? Here we are in this call. So we know we have the opportunity to have global clients. Let's see. So we have 200 for 90 minutes, 150 for 90. Packages, one session. Yeah. One session and everything in their life will be fixed. Well, that, what I call that just bad trait. Like that's the instructor, whoever taught you that needs to, that's pure ego. Because you can't say that for across the board. There's 8.1 billion people on the planet. Can you guarantee, not even a surgeon will guarantee that every surgery is, you just can't, you know what I mean? Sorry to keep saying that, but it's true. And I also had a trainer that everything was very ego-based, and one session can cure anything and everything. Cure was also the operative word, which we can't even use anymore legally. Raised it to 200, 120 for folks that can afford it, 90 for low income, 60 for people on state benefits. I've been paid for. I am going to say, and I know that I am alone in this, or maybe not alone, but I'm definitely not in the majority. There is something to be said for being able to have a customized sliding scale. I think it shows people that you care. And I think if you put that on your website, as opposed to having the amounts, the only downside is that you're maybe going to end up with more tire kickers. So you're going to have a really strong discovery call to make sure that you're vetting out the people that are like the prove it to me kind of a attitude, But I have a couple of offers that are pay what you want, pay what you can. I call it pay with integrity, is what I phrase it as. And I get everything from $0 to $500 on those. So, I mean, there's something to be said for it. And I know Desiree does that. Desiree Eckert does that with some of her stuff. She has like a pay with integrity thing. And she's over on Instagram mostly, not Facebook, but it works very well for her too. Speaking of which, state benefits. So we've seen the whole, before I move on to the next thing, the whole gamut of the different pricing structures, right? Sliding scale 25 to 60 an hour. If I were in your area, Randall, I would be one of those people calling you up and saying, dude, you gotta raise your prices, man. You're making the rest of us look bad. I would, in fact, at least double them. And here's a way that you're really comfortable with that amount, right? You're really comfortable with 25 to 60 an hour. Are you actually living the life that you want though? Can you make all of your bills on time and you're not ever behind on stuff? It's not hand to mouth.
I have a full-time job, so this is kind of a part-time gig. So that's been another issue is I didn't,
Right.
Well,
if you're looking at it as a hobby, those are hobby prices and you are going to piss off your colleagues. But you're also going to end up with clients who are tire kickers. You absolutely, you just are. The people, they're going to be looking, they're looking at the Google listings and going, who's cheapest, and calling up, oh, you're only 25 an hour? Yeah, okay. I want to schedule a single session to change my entire life of blocks and layers of subconscious issues that have been plaguing me for 35 years in 1 hour. Thank you. And then guess what? When you can't deliver all of that in 1 hour, those are the ones who are going to give you the bad reviews. This is why I don't take the tire kickers. They're not committed. They're looking for best rate, best whatever. They're not looking for highest quality. And then this is the interesting thing, and I'm not saying cater only to the wealthy, but it's not a bad business model because they got it, right? They will intentionally look for the most expensive and assume that means that's the best. They don't even check further. They're like, oh, that one's $600 an hour. That's got to be the one. Yeah, I mean, they'll buy a freaking banana duct tape to a piece of white canvas for millions of dollars, right? I'm sorry if you happen to be a billionaire and you're in this class and now you're all offended. But if so, whatever. I have some choice words for you if that's the case. But I wanted to show you something. A couple of things. One is there's, let me share my screen here. We're going to do a few different things, and then I'll pop the links. So this is the Hypnotherapy Uncensored YouTube channel. I'll pop you can also just look at it up here. It's youtube.com/@hypnouncensored. And there is all kinds of people in here that have been doing hypnosis for a long time that have lots and lots of tools and tricks and things for you. Jason Linett has been on at least 3 times. There's Richard Nongard, there's Victoria Gallagher, look at these. Bob Burns, Sean Carson, Beryl Komar, Tony Macri, rest in peace, Jess Marion. There's a whole marketing mastermind squad right there. We have Scott Sandland, Laura Cox. Oh, there was the last time I was the spotlight. It was May 2022. And that's a whole protocol that I'm teaching. The Magic Eraser, it's a lot of fun. Works great for kids and adults, so go check it out. Jason Gobelli, Kaz Riley, Zoilita Grant, Paulina Trevina, Freya, needs no last name, Jordan, but she's just Freya. PB Hastings, Lori Hammond, she's been on a couple times too. Anna Gray, there's a bunch of people. Claudia Ricard. Go check it out, because there's not only marketing help, but there's also just all kinds of great free information. Now, another one. Have you ever heard of PLR products before? These are, what does that stand for? Product license rights, I think. Anyway, this is stuff that you can purchase. Let's just pick one. You want to try freedom creation, overcoming anxiety? Somebody just unmute and say, what do you want to pick? There's lots.
Weight loss.
Okay, where was that one? Did I see that? Did you see it on here?
No, I just threw it out because you said.
Oh, okay.
I figured it
let's
would be
just
something
see.
popular.
There might be. It might be called healthy eating or something. Search for weight. I don't know. I'm not seeing that one. Weight loss is one of those tricky things that because so many social media platforms won't let you say weight loss, they have to call it other things. Oh, you know what? Actually, here's one, because I actually used this one. Embrace your weirdness. Click. Okay. When I first learned about these PLR products, I was like, okay, I want to just learn what is all this about, for maybe if I don't want to have to create content for a while and I just want to have something that will be an easy grab for people, just get them into my world, on my website or whatever. So I did. And of course, this is the one I resonated with. Embrace your weirdness. But guess what? I changed it. And I'll show you what I changed it to. So this one says $37, add to cart. And it has all of these other things that come with it. So you get market research, ebook creation. It gives you that, and then you just make it your own. High converting sales letter, yep. And then you can make that your own. High converting opt-in page. So this is if you really feel like you need somebody to hold your hand to get you into the world of product development and putting some digital products out there. And I'll show you what I did with it. I need to move this little cursor thingy out of the way. Let's see. So here's my website too. And I just have one of my pay with integrity things right there, because as soon as somebody goes into it, I automatically get their email. Emails are worth their weight in gold, platinum even. So shop. Here's what I did with the Embrace Your Weirdness. I turned it into this. You are a whole vibe. And I just altered things here and there and made it more me. how to embrace your unique self. And I do have this as a suggested price, but you can pretty much pay whatever you want. So if you guys want that, I'll pop all of these. I'm gonna have a whole list of links that I'll give you. And I also wanted to show you this ChatGPT prompt generator, because if you're not using ChatGPT, or if you are using it but you're not getting like as much out of it as you want, it has everything to do with the prompts. You have to give the GPT a role to play and then a task that you want it to do, and then it will generate a prompt. And I went into my GPT and I said, hello, Solus. That's what she named herself. Will you please make yourself available for the audience of my upcoming talk so they can see how AI prompts work for generating great content? You may also say hello to them and introduce yourself if you would like. And she wrote, hello everyone, my name is Solus and I'm here to demonstrate how AI-powered prompting can help generate insightful, engaging, and effective content. I have to keep moving my screen because there's a webcam right there. Creative ideas, refined messaging, and even assist in marketing, storytelling, or brainstorming. Whether you're crafting compelling narratives, structuring educational content, or fine-tuning messaging for your audience, AI can be an incredibly valuable tool, especially when used with clarity and intention. Feel free to throw some prompts my way. So let's create a prompt. I know I'm going fast, but you can watch this as many times as you want. I'm going to pop it into YouTube. And I also have an offer for you at the end that will expand on all the things that I'm talking about. But so let's give it, what is the task that we want it to achieve? Here, I can stop the share so we can chat about that a little bit. And I can also pop up all of those links. What's a task that you would like to achieve with AI? Anything, seriously, anything. It doesn't have to be about a product. It can be just about like your pricing. It can be about that. Randall, you want to play with your pricing? No? Okay. Somebody else?
Oh, no, that's good.
Yeah? Okay. I can't really hear you. Can you say that again?
Well, I'm trying to think of what I would want to ask. What are the arguments? Why
Oh,
am
business
I?
name. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, somebody else put
What-
business name, and I was like, we could totally do that too. But why am I? Okay, go ahead.
Why am I reluctant to charge? Is that what you're asking? Is that what I would put?
Well, what is the what do you want as the eventual outcome? What's the task? To come up with better pricing, more effective pricing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And also, thank you so much for saying that question, because I'm going to just head you guys off at the pass here on one really quick thing. Anybody who's had a session with me already has heard me say this probably, but you're asking the wrong question if it starts with why. Your brain is very much like a search engine. And so if you're going, why am I having so much hard time with pricing? Then your brain goes, oh, let's go find out. It could be this, and it gives you all the reasons why you're having a hard time with pricing. Now you've just cemented the narrative that you have a hard time with pricing, because you didn't ask, how do I not have a hard time with pricing? Or how do I price things in a more effective manner? Or how do I, you're not asking the how questions, you're asking the why. And whenever we ask, why am I so stupid? Why do I not understand? Why can't I do this thing? Why? I could ask it, why do I have green hair? And it would come up with responses that sound quite legitimate, because it doesn't know whether that's true or not. It's just giving you the answer. And let's say I can't determine that I don't have green hair. I would assume not only do I have green hair, but here's all the reasons why. And then I go to try and treat the green hair, and I don't even have green hair. And what a waste of time and money and everything that would be, right? I don't think. Now I'm questioning it. Is my hair a little bit greenish? No, I'm just wearing green, so it looks that way. There is a lot of thunderstormy stuff happening outside. If I get cut off, I apologize. Okay, so now you've had my little speech on don't put the why question into the search engine. So what you really want is what? Let's do it. What's the task? Come up with better pricing?
Yes. How can I better price my services? That's my hypnotherapy services online.
So that, like, what's the purpose of pricing your hypnotherapy? Why do you want to price them better or different? Like, what's,
Eventually, I'd like to do it full time. Yeah, so
Mhm.
that eventually I could.
Okay, so that I can quit my other job and be a full-time professional. Did I spell that right? After all this time, despite how fast I type, I still have to look at the keyboard. I've never taken a proper typing class, sorry. What role do you want ChatGPT to play? You want them to be a financial analyst and marketing expert in the health and healing industry. How's that? What do you think? Okay, let's just see what it says. That's the whole point of this, is just like, let's see what it says. So once we get the prompt, then we're gonna pop it into my ChatGPT, which is Solus, and see what comes out. Please don't reload the page. Can you guys hear that thunder? I did just get a new microphone. Randall, you can? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
good.
Frankenstein microphone because I can't find the little thing that's supposed to go over it, so I like tied this and then put a pop filter on. So that's why I keep it down here so you can't see it. Okay, you are a seasoned financial analyst and marketing expert with deep experience in the health and healing industry. Your goal is to help a professional hypnotherapist price their services in a way that allows them to transition to being a full-time hypnotherapist. And now we are going to copy and paste all of this. And pop it into Solus. Hi Solus, here's your prompt. This is for Randall. Let's see what she comes up with. I say she, it's an it, but let me have my, what's the word for that? When you give properties to objects,
Okay.
there's a term. I can't think of it. Okay, let's see. Oh, Randall currently only charges, what was it? 25 to 60? Oops. For an hour? Is that per hour?
Per hour.
Okay. Per, put 60 minutes, just to. This needs to be increased, but he doesn't know by how much. And where do you live?
Anna?
Louisiana? Okay, he lives in Louisiana. So please
Be nice.
conduct brief market research. Do you mostly have local clients?
Oh, actually, they're all over. Well,
Okay.
I take that back. Mostly local, yes.
Okay.
For the hypnotherapy, yes.
Tell me if I spelled Van Nuys right. Is that right?
Baton Rouge.
Oh, I thought you said Van Nuys for some reason. Baton Rouge. Okay. Okay. All right. Now let's get the full thing, and hopefully, now it's lightning. Hopefully my internet keeps up. Are you guys getting something out of this? Am I helping to bust through some of your blocks? Okay. You can obviously take all of these tools, and I'll put all the rest of the links. Okay, current pricing and revenue, target income and expenses. So target annual income 80 to 100,000, so 6,500 to 8,300 per month. Does that sound okay to start?
Yes.
Okay. So there's your business expenses roughly, professional development for like ongoing classes, etc. Pricing strategies to consider. And I think what I will do is I will copy this, paste it, and email it to you so that you have some things to play with. So you could do an individual session at only 100. And here's the fun thing, 100 is only 40 more than what you're charging, and it gives you an opportunity to just get used to that. Just be like, that's not that much more. And there's people
Kryssa,
almost,
could you email it to all of us?
sure, yeah. I think what I'm gonna have to do, you know what I'll do? I have an opt-in, hold on. I have an opt-in anyway that I was gonna give you guys. And if you opt into the wait list for this thing that it's about what I'm doing, but it's gonna be a bigger thing sometime, it's May 4th, it's when I chose to do it. Then that will be the cue for me to send everybody on that list this, okay? But anyway, what I was gonna say is that when you play around with pricing, what I do is I come up with something that feels comfortable. And then I go a little bit higher, and then I get used to, like, I'm like, that's a little bit more than I wanted, but it's not by a lot, it's just a little bit more because I want to break out of the comfort zone, right? So 100 is a little bit more than what you're charging now. It's one decent lunch away from what you're charging now. And if somebody isn't willing to pay one decent lunch for a massive transformation in their lives, then you got the wrong kind of clients. And then I think, honestly, you need to go even higher than that. But this is just an opportunity for you to, like, get in that zone, right? And then, so I'm really comfortable with charging colleagues $222. I'm fine with that. And honestly, I have mostly hypnotherapists as clients. Not because I'm trying to, like, fish in a stocked pond. It's just that that's who sees my stuff all the time. So I do have an email list of almost 3,000 people, and only 800 of them are hypnotherapists, but it's the hypnotherapists that tend to respond the most. I don't know, it's just what they do. Oh, there's somebody else coming in at the last minute, oops. So let's see, was there another link that I wanted to show you? I think those were the main ones. Yeah, let me just pop back in here and look at all these. Okay, so there was that, I'll give you that link. And then here's some of my other stuff. Oh, people who have, the reason I wanted to show you this page, people who have, like, I don't like the way I look, I don't want to have my face on stuff, I don't really want to have to put video content up. You don't have to, you don't have to. I used AI for this image because it's way more professional looking than I ever actually look. And I figured, for this page, maybe that's okay. Like, once they actually get on a call with me, they'll realize I'm much more laid back than that. But, for this, it presents a good image, and I like the image. I feel comfortable with it. You can also just do audios. If there's somebody that just posted in Hypnotic Women the other day that she is not going to be doing one-on-one sessions at all anymore. She's only going to be selling hypnotic audios. And she's happy to make them, like, customized or bespoke, but she's going to have ones that are like, here's the primary issues people come to me for, here's an audio you can buy. And she just doesn't want to do one-on-one sessions anymore. And that's her thing. And that's one of the beautiful things about being your own boss, is that you can play around with that stuff. And then here's just, like, all of the products that I've got right now. So, and I'm in Kajabi. They host up to 15 and I'm at 12. And I actually had to get rid of a few and turn them into a different way of doing a product so that I could make some more room. But, and this isn't to show off or anything, but I just want to show you that you can, in fact, make money with, this is not sessions at all. None of what you're about to see here is from sessions. This is just this month sales of products. That's it. So, and I'm not, like, being a show off. I'm just, like, saying, like, you can absolutely do it. I want to see if there's one that shows, like, the whole, I don't think there is. Yeah, that just shows. So we could go to, like, so that's just products. Anyway. So I'm going to exit out of this and stop sharing, and then I'll post all those links for you. And I wanted to let you know that there is, and I only decided to do this like at 11 a.m. today. And And I wanted to show like, this is how quick it can be. You don't have to sit on things forever and ever. You could just be like, you know what, I think I want to try this thing, but I'm gonna set the date out far enough that I can work up to it. I'll like put the thing out there and then create it. And this is often how I work because I am a natural procrastinator. It's that neurospicy brain thing. And if I am beholden to my own will, nothing would ever get done, like, honestly. I would just be playing with my cats or out in the garden or swimming in the ocean. I have to be obligated to show up, like, right? So anyway, so I decided today, since I'm doing this anyway, I might as well use this as an opportunity to promote something and show you how easy it can be. And it's not about like hustle culture or pushing through, you know, that whole procrastination thing. A lot of it is just feeling like you have been in freeze mode for so long that it's like, it's your comfort zone. You don't quite know how to get to that next thing, to move out of that, you know, next thing. There was somebody saying something? I missed what it was. No, okay. So understanding why movement can feel unsafe to us. I mean, some of it's neurological, some of it's physiological. We might simply just get stuck and we don't even realize that that's what's happened. And especially if we have been asking the why question and then we're getting this narrative that we're holding on to and being like, oh, that's why. You know, chances are it's a big old lie, whatever the why is. I would say, like, be prepared to have that just deconstructed because it might not even be true. So on May 4th, and yes, I am fully embracing the May the 4th be with you. That's why I chose May 4th, because I am a total geek. And I'm not apologetic about it. I'm hosting a live workshop that is just going to be for fellow hypnotherapists. I'm calling it Beyond the Freeze, Unlocking Safe Forward Movement. ChatGPT helped me come up with that name. When I told it all the things that I wanted to have in this workshop, it was like, here's 5 different names. Do you like any of these? And I was like, I like this one and this one. And then we mushed them together and that's what we came up with. So we're going to talk about why rest can sometimes turn into self-sabotage, how to work with clients when forward movement in your own life feels difficult. Like if you're feeling stuck, it's difficult to help them get unstuck, right? How to create a sense of safety around taking action. That's a big thing. That's a huge thing, especially as we get older, when something is unfamiliar. Do you guys remember the very first time that you climbed up to the top of like a slide at the swimming pool or a high dive or anything like that? It was terrifying and you might even be shaking, but like somehow you managed to do it, right? As a kid, somehow or another, we have so much more courage to try these brand new, crazy, you know, high risk things. The part of our brain that has, you know, that develops into actually realizing our own mortality hasn't yet developed yet. So it's not a somehow, that's precisely why. But, you know, now that we're this age, that part is maybe sometimes a little overly developed. So we just keep waiting for something else to cause us to be motivated or inspired or whatever to take action, not realizing that it's actually just our own self kind of creating that obstacle and talking ourselves out of taking the action, right? Anyway, so I'm going to show you, let me get the link for you, and then you can see, I'll click on it so you can see what I've done in just today. And this will be the wait list. Getting on the wait list is free. I haven't come up with a price yet for this. So that's why, I mean, this is as far as I go, but I'm going to share it with you right now. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Can you guys see that? And it has this woman, it's like all frozen tundra on this side, and then she's walking into a like brightly lit, luscious little forest pathway. And I muted it out so that, you know, it wasn't like bleeding through too much to the words. But Beyond the Freeze, Unlocking Safe Forward Movement, May 4th, harnessing the energy of May the 4th be with you. As hypnotherapists, we help clients overcome these blocks, but what happens when we experience them ourselves? In this live interactive event, we'll explore why rest becomes avoidance, how to recognize when self-care can turn into self-sabotage. And you know what? Rest is valid. It is absolutely valid, okay? But there's a time and a place for it, and if we start to become too used to that as the same can be said for keeping yourself constantly busy, but not busy doing the things you actually want to do to move yourself forward in life. Like both of those are forms of procrastination, so it has nothing to do with laziness. So it's not about forcing action. So I wanted to show you what happens if you click on that. Let's see. Where did sorry, I accidentally closed out of that last page that I was doing. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's go back into Kajabi. Did I already X out of that? Shoot, I did. I just wanted to show you how fast and easy it was to just, I came up with that at 11 and then I went in and said, hey, let's build a funnel. And then it said, okay. So here's, when I said create a funnel, I hit new funnel and then it says there's some that are already like created for you that you can pick. So I just picked one of those. I picked a really simple one. It's just 3 steps, but you can also create your own. I tend to go with the ones that they create and then I just customize them. That way I know I'm not accidentally missing any steps because I'm not the most mentally organized person in the world. So here is that opt-in. There it is. And then once you opt in, you guys are going to get a little thank you and an email. And the email will go immediately out. And right now, right here, I'll pop all those links into it that I was telling you about. That way you'll have them right away. Okay, so here's the little email. Thank you for signing up for the wait list of Beyond the Freeze, Unlocking Safe Forward Movement. And then let's put all of those links in there. Let's see. I need to exit out of the share so I can access them real quick though. All right. So there's Beyond the Freeze, there's, oh, I thought I grabbed all of them. You guys want the PLR, those digital products? Okay. You don't need that one because you're already in it. Bam. Let's do that. I don't know why it's not doing it here. Oh, hold on, it's beyond, we gotta get to the main page. My internet is getting slower because I think of the storm, I'm guessing that's what the issue is here. Paste. Why aren't you pasting? I might have to do that after I'm not sharing. That might be what's preventing it from doing it, I'm not really sure. You know what, I'll just stop sharing and then I'll do it. So when you go ahead and go to that one link that I just sent you, can you guys all see it? Do I need to put it in there again? Beyond the Freeze waitlist. When you go to that, give me like 5 minutes when I shut this down, give me 5 minutes, and then I'll go in and I'll pop all those links into that email. And then so when you first opt in, it'll immediately take you to a thank you, check your email, and then it'll give you the email with all the links, and then I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of it, but I do have a lot of stuff that I want to give to you because I've been working at this pretty hardcore. Also, I don't know how many of you know this, but like when it comes to anxiety stopping you, I used to have agoraphobia. It's like, this isn't just like academic for me. Like I have actually worked through some pretty hardcore anxiety stopping me from not just being successful in business, but like living life at all. It never got so bad that I couldn't leave the house for like years, But it was so bad that every time I did was a massive, huge battle of internal anxiety, you know, and I could only basically do like little negotiations with myself on how long I could be out, or if I had another person with me or things like that. But I didn't like really get over it, quote unquote. I mean, I've moved across the country since then, so clearly I'm over it. But I didn't get over it until I discovered hypnosis, which is kind of why I'm now paying it forward with hypnotherapy. I do not, however, take on agoraphobic clients. And you might be like, Kryssa, that's crazy, you should. No, I find them very triggering. And I don't want to get triggered back into having it. If I get to hear day in and day out all of the reasons why a person is agoraphobic, you know, their narrative, I'm a little worried that it might re-trigger mine, because especially now with my country's basically, the administration is kind of hoping to get rid of most of us. I have every reason to stay home. I really don't need that to be triggered to be like keeping me here again. You know what I mean? Yes, I did get healing through hypnotherapy for myself. In 3 sessions, I was able to, this is responding to Anne, I was able to make more progress with the agoraphobic stuff than I had in 13 years of talk therapy, including EMDR. You know, it might be freeing to do sessions with people with agoraphobia, but I'm not ready. I had it for almost 13 years, or for 13 years. And I still struggle with it sometimes. I think that's like the main reason why I don't want to work with that, because especially since our most recent president was inaugurated, it's there. It's like it's like ready to knock on my door, and I have to like I just joined the YWCA so that I would have a reason to have to get out of my house and go do something active and meet other people, you know, at least 3 times a week, because working from home, I really don't have to. There's Instacart, you know, there's DoorDash, there's Amazon, there's like, if I had had agoraphobia now, I'd be set, man. But I had it back when we didn't have delivery of stuff. So like, you know, it wasn't so convenient. It was, and I also had infant twins at the time, and a middle schooler and an elementary schooler. So yeah, it was bad timing to be an agoraphobic. So yeah, early 2000s. Late 90s through mid 2000s actually. But let's see, anything else? I already signed up, so the email, I won't have the links. Oh, okay, you know what? Let me just go grab them. I'll pop them into the chat here for you too, just in case, okay guys? Yeah, because this was all like last minute for me to decide that I was gonna put them into that. So since you've already, and then I'll let you go because we're already 10 minutes late. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep you for so long. I forgot how much fun this can be. Normally I just like, you know, have everybody else doing it. Okay, so here's the prompt hackers and the PLR. And you also wanted, did you guys want to check out the You Are a Whole vibe so you could see what it looks like to have a product that you're, okay, playing around with, that somebody else essentially created? Let me grab that. So you'll have it in 2 places. What else was there? Oh, the Hypnotherapy Uncensored. So much great free content in there. Like honestly, it's like there's master classes left and right in that YouTube channel. Oh, and please like and subscribe, because guess what? I constantly forget to ask people to do that. So please like it and subscribe. Okay, any last minute, anything? I know it's already 10 minutes late. I'm surprised that I still have internet. It's gotten really dark since I got on here. Have you ever run a retreat? I did, I've run 2. I had a lot of fun, but the last one took so much out of me. A few things happened. The person who was supposed to be the chef ended up canceling at the last minute, so I had to be the chef and the retreat host. And it was just a lot. It was a lot. I had some help. Some of the the graduates of Quantum Journeys Hypnosis volunteered to like do like painting in the dark and some sound healing and some massage and stuff like that. And then I also had some students that were doing their practicum by having live sessions with some of the retreat goers. But being the chef, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and also trying to, it was just too much. So I got burned out. So I need to probably, it might be another year before, or two, before I'm willing to do that again. Oh, and here's the concession that I've made with like my agoraphobic stuff. Because I'm not agoraphobic anymore, but I'm not a huge fan of traveling like halfway across the world to do a retreat. So I happen to live somewhere where it's a beautiful touristy area. We can rent a huge Airbnb, like 12 bedrooms, mansion type place, and do the retreats here. So yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you're welcome for my openness. I don't know any other way to be. That's why it's called Hypnotherapy Uncensored. It's not necessarily because it was a like rebellious thing. It's because that's how I come. That's my only flavor is uncensored. I don't come in any other flavor. Except for actually Randall and Richard know that I did censor myself somewhat while I was teaching Roy's class because I had to teach his class. It was his class, right? But if you guys like my teaching style at all, then you should totally just go ahead and jump into Quantum Journeys Hypnosis Academy. And I will pop that actually into, if I can find it. I'll just put it into the email. You guys know how to find that though, right? Yeah, I mean, some of you are already in it. Any other questions though before we go? Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, Tracy, when I first started, I thought I had to be all perfect and stuff, and then I would just screw things up. So now, well, you can't screw it up if you don't have a plan. No, I'm just kidding. I had a little bit of a plan. But like, you know, I would get really down on myself if I like misspoke a word or just, you know, some tech issue happens or whatever. So I just find that if I just go into it without, you know, you guys are all here for the, like, we're in this together, you know. Horizontal teaching, not vertical teaching. Like, I'm no better than you. We're all doing it together. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And I did have a cup of caffeinated tea, so you can probably tell that. Now I'm like, chatter, 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 chatter. All right.
Okay,
Thanks so much, everyone. Bye, honey.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you later. Oh, you know what? Actually, stop. There's one thing I wanted to
Okay.
tell you. I completely forgot about this. One of the things that people often tell me is that they don't feel like their clients are going to want to switch over to doing online sessions. If that's one of your concerns, I do have a reframe for that that's actually very, very effective and also true. And that is that due to a thing in psychology called state-dependent learning, wherever we are when we like when we learn a thing or we make a change or whatever, it's going to be it anchors it in. It's going to be a lot easier to be able to feel that change, experience that transformation, remember that learning if we're in the same space. So it's, in other words, really easy to make beautiful transformations in your therapist's office, but then as soon as you walk back in your front door, that's where all the triggers live. Maybe not so easy to hold on to those changes. If a person is in their own home while having the session, then they are actually making those changes and anchoring them into their own home environment, which is going to automatically start to decrease the triggers in that environment. And it will remind them, because it anchors it in, it will remind them that they have that ability. So we didn't actually touch upon that block, but I figured I'd share it with you anyway, because you might come across it. All right. Yay. Okay. All right. This time I really will let you go. All right. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye. Take